We now move on to react to Ukraine getting knocked out, while Belgium, Romania, and Slovakia see themselves through the knockout stages. Um, through the knockout stages into the round of 16. This group is an interesting group in the fact that they all finished level on 4 points, which is actually, I believe, the first time this has ever happened in European Championship history. I don't remember a time in my lifetime, World Cup, European Championship, etc., that a group has finished with all teams level on 4 points. And in those kind of situations when all team is level, it really comes down to goal differential. And what made Ukraine bottom is that at the end of the day is that opening day game where they got thumped by Romania 3-0. That ended up being the difference between these four teams. That's the reason why Romania is number one, while Ukraine is number four. That margin in a very, very tight group, goal differential became the difference. And it's heartbreaking for Ukraine, finishing this with the same amount of points as the group winners, but end up bowing out and going out. That's really a devastating situation. I think the last time I've seen something as devastating as that in terms of getting eliminated in the group stage, probably have to go back to that 2018 World Cup. Japan and Senegal finished second and third in their group respectively. Well, no, Japan and Senegal, they finished both with 4 points, have the same goal differential, have the same goals for, goals against, but the difference between those two is the yellow cards. FIFA Fair Play ends up making the difference, and that's the reason why Japan was able to move on and Senegal didn't. This is something of that sort in my opinion, because having the same amount of points as the group winners and still getting eliminated is really heartbreaking. But again, I didn't think they did much, and they didn't do enough this tournament. Ukraine, in my opinion, they started off the opening game. In terms of quality, they have the second best set of players within this group. In terms of just pure quality, when you look at Dovbyk, Yaremchuk, Zinchenko, Mudryk, these are players that play really, really good at top levels and have very, very good talents amongst this team. But the players did not show up to the level of their talent. Against Romania, they looked so lackluster. They had so much possession but complete waste, no real possession in any sort of areas that was dangerous, no cutting edge. None of that in Romania. Every time they got the ball, they looked dangerous. They looked like, they could have scored 4 or 5. They were very lively. They're very efficient in the way that they did it. Ukraine was the opposite. And then in the second game against Slovakia, there was a lot of moments in that game where Slovakia outplayed Ukraine in that game, and Ukraine were able to get past through individual moments of brilliance, especially that Yaremchuk first touch to give them the lead at the end. It took them the 80th minute to get that lead, and there was always a sense that they were not comfortable in this tournament, and because of that opening game, they found themselves in a situation that they needed to win this game against Belgium, and that's not the place that you want to be in. Now, they have their opportunities. I thought overall this Ukraine-Belgium game was fairly boring, and it was kind of ruined by the fact that Belgium only needed to play for a draw while Ukraine needed to play for a win. But and they had their opportunities near the end, don't get me wrong. And in terms of play, it was pretty even. 13 shots to 12, 4 shots on target to 4 for Belgium. Belgium had 60% of the possession, but it was not possession in dangerous areas. It was just possession in midfield. It was just passing it around, just them being able to retain the ball more. But they had no real cutting edge either. I thought Ukraine, with the less possession, were still able to create as much opportunities as the Belgians. But again, just the lack of quality, not being able to get into the back of the net. Casteels had to come up, I think, very, very clutch for Belgium at the end. Because Belgium found themselves in a tricky situation too in those last 10, 15 minutes. They had an opportunity where they could be going for the win. Because if you go for the win, you win the group and you put yourself on the favorable side of the bracket. You avoid the likes of France, Germany, Spain, Portugal, etc. You put yourself on the favorable side of the bracket. But if you do go and open up yourself and you do go for the win, you put yourself in a dangerous situation, though, because if you do concede a goal in that situation, then you're going out. And you know, and there was a tricky situation that they found themselves in. You saw within the last few minutes, they kind of closed the curtain. You see De Bruyne howling his team, just stay in the corner, kind of giving up almost, saying, yeah, no, we're not going to win this game. Let's just, and Ukraine was creating some chances at the end too. And so De Bruyne kind of being a captain saying, well, let's just close the curtain. Let's just play for this draw. Let's get out of here. Let's keep ourselves in the tournament, which was very, which is I've always known De Bruyne being a leader. I've always respected him as a leader. I thought that was a good moment of leadership in the fact that Belgium were on the back foot in those last few minutes, and his experience, saw through it, and and even though that going for the win, could have looked very appealing. The point they needed that point. They could not risk getting eliminated from these group stages. That would have been really horrible for them. But now they give themselves an opportunity. But in my opinion, a massive, massive missed opportunity for Belgium. Massive missed opportunity. They put themselves on the other side of the bracket. I think Belgium have a very good shot to make a run because you're avoiding all the elite teams. The best teams you're going to have to face on this bottom side is England, Netherlands. Huge missed opportunity for Belgium. I think Belgium would have a very good chance to make a very deep run in that bottom side. Very, very good chance, in my opinion. Now you put yourself on the top side of the bracket, and it'll be a major effort just to get past France in the round of 16. And then you'll have to take on probably Portugal. Then you have to take on a France, Spain. Then you'll have to take on a potential Spain or Germany, or, you have almost a 0% chance to reach the final in that top half of the bracket. I think on that bottom half of the bracket, they don't fancy their chances. I'd give them a 35% chance, which is a big chance to make the final. Now I think almost to zero. There's no way that they reach the final. Huge missed opportunity for Belgium, in my opinion. I thought that first half was so lackluster, and there's a price to pay. There was a price to. They were able to right their wrong in that Slovakia game and this Ukraine game. They weren't able to right their wrong in this game. I think overall that Slovakia game and this Ukraine game is they're gonna have to pay for it, and they're paying for it is having to take on France, which will more likely than not be the end of their tournament and really close the door shut on this golden generation of Belgium. And it's disappointing, especially for me, because I chose them to win this game. As far as the other games, Slovakia and Romania, I don't want to be some. I don't want to be what's the word? A conspiracy theorist. I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but this game seemed a little boring, and especially in the second half. Now the first half, no. First half I thought it was really, really entertaining, but in that second half, it seemed like both teams were rather satisfied with that point that they found to someone, which I cannot blame them because the point saw them both through. So if I was in their position, if I was their manager, I'd be in that exact same thinking of the fact a point is good enough. Let's just pass the ball till the game is over. But in that first half, I thought both teams did show attacking intent. Duda was able to give Slovakia the lead in the 24th minute from a cross, but Romania were able to equalize shortly before halftime through a penalty, and and then on in the second half it was a interesting pass fest, but big achievement for Romania because they are reaching the last 16 for the first time in over 20 years. I think the last time they did it was the 2000, the Euros in 2000. The Euros in 2000. Slovakia, this is also the first time that they've been in the knockout stages at the European Championships since the Euros in 2016. So major props for them for for Slovakia and Romania. Big accomplishment from both teams, and yeah, overall a great day in history for both of these nations.